how do you pray and fast and break your fast while you're flying on an airplane? This is a common question that we get, not just in Ramadan, but sort of, as modern people that are flying all over the place. Now, of course, we'll take them one by one. Flying, of course, did not exist at the time of the Salaf, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So the discussion of in-flight prayer, as it were, did not really occur until later in Islamic law. And there are two main opinions. Now, the opinion that I follow, the opinion that I was taught, the school of thought that I follow, the system of learning that I follow, is that one of the conditions of prayer is that the place of prayer has to be connected to the earth. And this is as argued by Imam al-Rafi'i, one of the well-known Shafi'i, medieval Shafi'i jurists. So therefore, if you were in a plane, you would not be able to pray because you have not fulfilled a crucial condition, which is it's not connected to the earth. Like you can't pray dhuhr before dhuhr time comes in. One of the conditions is that the time of prayer has to start. So it's sort of the same concept. So if you follow that opinion, what do? When you fly, you don't pray. When you land, you make up all the prayers that you missed. It might be one prayer, it might be two, it might be three, and of course there would be no sin involved because you were in a time in which a main condition of prayer, an integral of prayer, you were not able to fulfill. Now, if you follow the other opinion, which I do not promote, but is a valid opinion, then you would have to make sure that the time has come in. You would have to make sure that you're facing the qibla. You would have to stand because you physically could stand. And if you couldn't and you sat on your chair but you were physically able to stand, then when you land you're going to have to make up the prayer anyway because you had some deficiency in it. So I see that opinion as a little bit on the weak side, and I think that the opinion that I follow makes a lot more sense, especially given security concerns. People praying on planes looks weird. So I think that this opinion happens to be something that's easy for us to follow. Now, if you're fasting and you're on a plane, how do you break your fast? You have to look out the window and you have to make sure that the sun has set. So it's not about following some kind of schedule. It's about observing the signs of the heavens and the earth, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly reminds us in the Quran. The sun has to set. And that's why we have the dispensation, not to fast. إِن كُنتُم مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ. Allah says if you're sick or traveling, make the day up. And don't fast that day because you could be in a situation where you're fasting like 30 hours, because the sun's not setting, because you're going the wrong way against the time zone or with the time zone or whatever the case may be. But if you find yourself in a situation when you're fasting and you're on a plane, you have to break your fast according to where you are at that moment. Is the sun set where you are at that moment? Then you break your fast. But if you're flying and the sun is not setting, you have to wait until the sun sets. And that's one of the conditions of breaking the fast. I hope that makes sense. Listen to this post maybe a couple times because this is a common question. And if you understand these rulings, I think you'll be able to find an easy way to adapt to prayer and fasting while traveling. Wallahu a'lam.